Feel this moment. You are asleep, and then it arrives. The same dream, the same sensation, the same falling, the same running, the same teeth crumbling, the same walls closing in. You wake up every time, and the same question repeats. Why does this keep coming? Is it just a dream, or is it something your unconscious has been trying to tell you for years? Something you keep refusing to hear? Carl Jung called dreams the language of the night mind. That language which drowns in the noise of the day, but when your eyes close, when your conscious mind surrenders its weapons, when there is no mask left to wear, then it speaks. And it never speaks without purpose. Jung believed that a recurring dream is not an accident. It is not your brain misfiring. It is a message from your unconscious. That message you refuse to acknowledge. So the unconscious began to repeat it. The same address, the same tone every night, until you listen. And this is where this video changes. Because your recurring dream is not your preference. It is not something you chose. It is your wound. That wound you have never looked at because you were too busy running from it. And your unconscious caught that running figure in the darkness of night and pinned it down. It shows you every night what you refuse to see in the light. Stay with me, because this is not just about what your dream means. This is about who you really are when every wall you built comes crashing down and only what you have been hiding remains. Now, I want you to do one thing. Pause for a moment, close your eyes, and think. The dream that visits you again and again, which one is it? There are 4, only 4. And you already know which one is yours because when I describe it, something in your chest will shift. Dream 1, falling. You are standing somewhere high, and then the ground vanishes. You are falling. The air tears at your face, and you try to scream, but no sound comes. Then you wake, heart pounding, sheets gripped in your fists, and the same feeling, I lost control. Dream 2, being chased. Something is behind you. You do not know what. You do not know why. But you are running. Your legs exist, but they will not move faster. Doors exist, but they will not open. And it is getting closer. You feel its presence on the back of your neck. Then you wake, drenched in sweat, gasping. Dream 3, teeth falling out. You run your tongue across your teeth, and something is loose. One tooth, then another, then a third. You are holding teeth in your hand, and looking in the mirror at a face that is no longer what it was. Something is breaking. Something you decided would never break. Dream 4, being trapped. A room, 4 walls, no door. Or there is a door, but it will not open. You scream, but the sound does not leave. You pound on the walls, but they do not crack. You are alone, completely alone, and the same feeling. There is no way out of here. One of these 4 is yours. The one that just moved something in your chest right now. That is your dream. And that dream did not choose you because you are weak. It chose you because your unconscious knows that your deepest wound is still unhealed. And that wound, the one you avoid in daylight, comes to you in the darkness of night, every night, in the same shape. Now here is where this test changes. Because this is not just about identifying what your dream is. This is about revealing what your dream has been saying about you, what you have never said to yourself. And before I tell you what each dream conceals, understand one thing. Your dream is not your weakness. It is the most honest voice your unconscious has. And that voice, tonight and every night, wants only one thing, for you to listen. If you have liked this video so far, subscribe, because this journey we are starting, it is only the beginning, and you're going to want the full path. Dream 1, falling. You are standing and the ground disappears. And you fall, every night, the same way. According to Jung, the falling dream is humanity's most ancient and most primal fear. But Jung never said this is a fear of falling. He said this is a dream of losing control. If this is your dream, and you know it is because you just tighten your grip on something, then Carl Jung recognizes in you a very specific, very powerful archetype. The archetype is the surrendered, the one who made control their identity. Jung called this the dominance of the extrovert thinking function, that personality structure which perceives the world as something that must be ordered. You are the person who makes plans, who writes lists, who calculates every possible outcome. And when everything goes according to your plan, you appear to be the most composed person in any room. But and this is a moment your unconscious replays in the darkness, when the ground vanishes beneath your feet, when that plan fails, when you did everything right and still everything broke, then your very existence shakes. Not because you fell, but because while falling, you realize you never learned to fly. You only learned to avoid the fall. Your greatest strength is your composure. You are the person others rely on, the one who stands steady in every crisis, the one who knows how to hold themselves together. But this composure, this control, this is your most beautiful wall, and also your most elaborate cage. Because controlling something and accepting something, these are two different things. And you learn control, but acceptance, that place where your plans end, and you simply have to fall. You never learn to stay there. You never learn that the ground disappearing is not always catastrophe. Sometimes it is the beginning of a different kind of standing. Jung called this the fear of lethe, not the fear of falling, but the fear of letting go. That terror that asks, if I release control, who am I? Will I still be the same person? Will anyone catch me? Will I survive the version of myself that does not hold everything together? But Jung also said, and this is a sentence that could liberate your unconscious, falling is not always destruction. Sometimes falling is the only way to fly. Because when you cling to the wall of control, you never reach new ground. You merely hang where the wall is. But when you release the wall, when you fall, then you discover that your feet carry the capacity for flight all along. You simply never had the courage to let go long enough to find out. The shadow's challenge for you is this. The next time you dream of falling, do something in that dream you have never done. Instead of gripping, instead of resisting, let go, let yourself fall. Feel the sensation that there is no ground, and then watch what happens. Because your unconscious brings you to the same dream again and again, so that you can learn something you have refused to learn in waking life. That you can survive without control. That you are safe without a plan. That you can stand without a wall. If this is your dream, write one in the comments. I want to know who you are. And stay. Because dream 2 is the one the world misunderstands the most. And that is the world's mistake. Not yours. Dream 2, being chased. Something is behind you. You do not know what. You do not know why. But you are running. Every night. The same pursuit. The same crumbling paths. The same doors that will not open. And it is getting closer. Jung called chased dreams the most honest confession of the conscious mind. But Jung never said something is chasing you. He said, what is behind you is what you yourself have suppressed. Your shadow. If this is your dream, and you can feel something cold on the back of your neck right now, then Carl Jung sees in you a very old, very deep archetype. The archetype is the evader, the one who made running the most solid decision of their life. Jung called this a denial of the introverted feeling function, that personality structure which suppresses its own inner pain so thoroughly that the pain cannot emerge. You are the person who feels deeply, completely, overwhelmingly. You are the one who walks into a room and understands everything without asking, who reads the faces of friends and knows what happened today, who absorbs the pain of people around you as if it lives in your own body. But you also learned, perhaps too early, perhaps through pain that should never have reached a child, that feeling is dangerous, that your own pain could destroy you, that if you looked at everything inside you, you might not come back for what you found there. So you decided, without words, without consciousness, without anyone teaching you, you decided that running was safety, facing was danger. And this decision, once made, became the engine of your life. Every emotion you did not sit with, every truth you swallowed, every wound you sealed shut instead of cleaning, all of it moved into your shadow. And the nature of the shadow is this. It follows you. It always follows. Because the shadow is not your enemy. It is the part of you that you abandoned. And it will not stop following until you turn around and recognize it as your own. Every relationship you left unresolved, every conversation you avoided, every feeling you renamed as something more acceptable than what it actually was, all of it lives in that figure behind you. And every night, your unconscious stages the same scene. You running in that which you suppressed gaining ground. Jung said, The thing you fear the most holds your most necessary freedom. Your shadow is not behind you to harm you. It is behind you because it is the part of you that you promised to reclaim a long time ago and then forgot. It is the grief you never fully expressed, the anger you were never allowed to show, the vulnerability you were punished for displaying. It is all the parts of you that were told they were unacceptable, so you buried them, and they have been waiting in the dark ever since. But here's the shadow's revelation, and this is what your unconscious replays every night. You are never running from someone else. You are running from yourself. That approaching figure is your own unacceptable self, the part that felt and was rejected, the part that wanted to cry and was silenced, the part that wanted to say, I am breaking, and was told you were fine, the part that carries the very emotions you need to feel in order to become whole. The shadow's challenge for you is this. The next time you dream this dream, stop running. Turn around, look at what is behind you, and you will discover it is not your enemy. It is the part of you that never left your side even though you turned your face away. It is your pain, restless for healing, not for destruction. It is the version of you that has been calling you back to wholeness every single night. If this is your dream, write 2 in the comments. And stay, because Dream 3 is the most disturbing and the most true. Dream 3, teeth falling out. You run your tongue across your teeth. Something is loose. 1 tooth slides out. Then another. Then a third. Your hands fill with teeth. You look in the mirror, and that face you spent years constructing is falling apart. Jung called the teeth-falling dream the deepest crisis of identity a human being can experience. But this crisis is not physical. This crisis is the collapse of who you pretended to be, if this is your dream. And if you just press your lips together, if you just touch your jaw, then you know this is your dream. Then Carl Jung sees in you an extraordinarily complex, extraordinarily powerful archetype. The archetype is the masked, the one who crafted their face with such mastery that even they forgot who was underneath. Jung gave us the concept of persona, that mask we all wear. But for you, the persona is not merely a mask. It is your greatest creation. You built the face that people like, the personality that fits everywhere, the version that is never distressed, never angry, never devastated. You constructed it with such precision that it became your second skin. You became so fluent in being what others needed that you forgot the syntax of being yourself. But the nature of a mask is this. It is never the real thing. And at night, when you remove it, your unconscious shows you the scene you are terrified to witness in daylight. Your face is breaking. Your teeth are falling. Your identity is crumbling. Not your real identity. The one you built. The one that was never yours to begin with. Jung said, when a persona becomes too strong, the human being is severed from their true self. You work so hard to be liked, to be acceptable, to never disappoint, that you left your real self somewhere far behind. And you have known for a while, perhaps a long while, that the person people admire was not you. It was your performance. It was a version of you that was approved. And somewhere deep inside, a question has been forming. If I stop performing, will anyone stay? But here's the shadow's most painful twist, and your unconscious replays it every night. You are not afraid that your teeth will fall out. You are afraid that your mask will fall off and the people standing behind it will disappear. You are afraid that if you showed your real self, the one that is deep, the one that is broken, the one that is incomplete, no one would remain. That the love you received was always for performance, never for performer. This is the cruelest paradox of the masked archetype. You gave people a version of you they would accept, and then you suffered because that version was never truly accepted. It was never truly you. How could they love the real you if they never met the real you? And how could they meet the real you if you never let the mask drop? But Jung also said the thing that can set your unconscious free. Removing the mask is not destruction. It is the first truth. And whoever looks behind your mask and still chooses to stay, that is your real person. Everyone else was always a guest at performance. They were applauding the character, not the actor. The shadow's challenge for you is this. The next time you dream this dream, do something you have never done. Look at your broken face in the mirror, and do not try to fix it. Do not try to reassemble the teeth. Do not try to rebuild the mask. Accept the broken reflection, broken, incomplete, and real, because your real face was never the one you constructed. Your real face is the one that emerges in the darkness of night, unmasked, afraid, and alive. And that face deserves to be seen in daylight too. If this is your dream, write 3 in the comments. And stay, because dream 4, that is the most secret, the most ancient imprisonment of all. Dream 4, being trapped, 4 walls, no door, or there is a door, but it will not open. You scream, but the sound does not leave. You pound, but the wall does not break. And the same feeling, there is no way out. I will be here forever. Jung called the entrapment dream the reflection of humanity's most ancient, most silent imprisonment. An imprisonment not of any room, but of your own voice. If this is your dream, and if you feel something heavy in your chest right now, as if something is pressed down, as if something has been held under the surface for too long, then Carl Jung sees in you the most silent and the most powerful archetype of all. The archetype is the silenced, the one whose voice was suppressed so many times that they no longer believe their voice can say anything that matters. Jung described the dominance of the introverted sensing function, that personality which feels everything and expresses nothing. You are the person who knows everything and says nothing, who held words in their mouth that never came out, who swallowed opinions that were never heard, who accepted truths that no one ever acknowledged, who carried insights that could have changed conversations, changed relationships, changed lives, but remained unspoken because someone, somewhere, taught you that your voice was inconvenient. Your silence is not your weakness. It is your greatest sacrifice. Someone, perhaps long ago, perhaps many times, taught you that your voice was dangerous, that your words created problems, that what you felt was not important, that what you wanted to say should not be said, that your needs were secondary, that your boundaries were negotiable, that your truth was too much for others to handle. And you learned silence is safety, silence is acceptance, silence is love. But silence is also a prison you built with every word you chose not to say. But the price of silence is this: the things you stop saying, they accumulate inside you. Every unspoken word becomes a brick. Every suppressed opinion becomes a wall. Every buried truth becomes a ceiling. And gradually, without anyone building from the outside, you constructed the very room you dream about every night. 4 walls, no door, and a voice that cannot reach beyond them. Jung called this the inner jail, that imprisonment a human being constructs for themselves without any external jailer. And this is the most dangerous kind of imprisonment, because when there is no one outside holding the key, no one outside can decide to open the door. Only you, only your voice, only the words you have been swallowing for years. But here is the shadow's most painful and most liberating revelation. The walls surrounding you in your dream are not made of stone. They are made of everything you never said. And when you say those things out loud in this world to the people who need to hear them, those walls will collapse, not in the nighttime dream, in the daylight, in your real life, in the conversations you have been avoiding for years. The shadow's challenge for you is this: today, not tomorrow, not next week, not when the time feels right, because the time will never feel right. Today, say the one thing you've been holding in your mouth for years. Tell someone what you never told them. Use your voice. Do not remain silent. Speak the truth that has been pressing against the walls of your chest. Fill in the room of your dream every night, because your unconscious sends you to that room again and again so that you learn that door you cannot open. It opens with your voice. It always has. It was never locked from the outside. It was waiting for you to speak. If this is your dream, write 4 in the comments, and I will say to you what your dream has been saying. Speak. Your voice deserves to be heard. It always did. And now, I want to tell you something that Carl Jung repeated throughout the final decade of his life. The dream that comes to you again and again is not your enemy. It is your most faithful friend. It is the only part of you that never lied. It is the only voice that never compromised. It is the only mirror that never distorted. Jung said, the unconscious never speaks at the wrong time. It always speaks when you need to hear it most. And the recurring dream, that message your unconscious has posted on your inner wall like a banner you keep walking past, that message is the one you have refused to read. not because you cannot understand it, but because understanding it would mean changing something. And change, even necessary change, feels like falling without a net. For dreams, for wounds, for archetypes, the surrendered who made control their identity and forgot how to fall, the evader who learned to run and forgot that the thing behind them was never the enemy. It was the abandoned self, the mask who built a face so perfect that they lost the original underneath, the silence whose voice was buried so deep that even they stopped believing it existed. But Jung also said, and this is the most important thing, these 4 archetypes exist within every single one of you. Every one. Your dream does not define you. It simply reveals which wound is most active right now, which part of you is most in need of recognition, which corner of your psyche has been dark the longest and is now knocking on the door of your consciousness, demanding to be seen. Jung called this process individuation, that slow, secret, and magnificent journey in which a human being gathers all their parts, light and shadow both, every archetype, every wound, every suppressed voice, and every abandoned feeling, and then becomes whole, not a fragment, whole, not a performance, authentic, not a survival strategy, a complete human being. So tonight, when you sleep and that dream arrives, and it will arrive, because it will keep arriving until you listen, do something different this time. If you fall, let yourself fall and discover what is beneath. If you are chased, stop and turn around and look at what has been following you. If your teeth fall out, look in the mirror and accept the broken face as the real one. If you are trapped, speak. Say anything. Say the thing you have been holding back for years. Because that dream is not coming to destroy you. It is coming to deliver you. Tell me in the comments which dream is yours. Tell the truth, not the answer you want to give, the one your unconscious is giving you right now. Because I read every single comment on this channel. Every one. And I want to know which of your wounds is speaking to you tonight. And if you want to go deeper, if today felt like a beginning rather than an ending, I have left a link to our previous video below. Because what you discovered today is only the first layer. There are dimensions of your personality deeper than any single dream can reach, and we will explore all of them. If this video touched something real inside you, share it with someone you care about, not for the algorithm, because there is someone in your life who is dreaming that same dream tonight, and they are ready to understand what it has been trying to say. Perhaps that person is you, and perhaps today, for the first time, you heard it. You already took one step in that direction today.